Hi everyone, how are you doing? So I am live from the park. Just had the most interesting experience because I've just gone into the Authentic Abundance Activator and have announced the winners for that. And I tried to sit under a tree next to the river, and suddenly all these squirrels and birds just came in and was like getting closer and closer and closer to me, and I actually got a bit scared at one point. So yes, very interesting doing a live from the park. But I am so excited, even though I had to walk around and like get the squirrels away from me. I have just announced the winners over in the group. So if you have been in on those 3 days and you have taken part, the winners have just been announced over in there. But what I really want to talk to you about today is why mindset coaching only does not work. So a lot of us have done this, right? We've done the coaching qualification, we've done the thing. I went and studied with the ICF and had the most incredible time doing that. And as I was going through that process of learning and coaching my clients, I was feeling that there was so much more. And when I learned about creative coaching, this started to give me a little glimmer that there was something more. And I found out why this is, okay? So when I would have those mindset coaching conversations with a client, and I would say, like, here's an example, like, what is holding you back? Client would say, XYZ is holding me back. And then the mindset coaching view on that would be, okay, what are you going to do about it? Okay, where are you at now? Where do you want to be? What are your options? Like the GROW model of coaching is a good example of that. But that is only looking at one layer or level of the person. That is not looking at, we're not even getting into energy here, but energy is coming up, so I'm going to talk about it. Like, are there energetic influences on that person? Do we need to clear some energy? Because we're talking about everything on a mindset level, but it might not even be that person's energy, right, that we're dealing with. So like, this doesn't even come into energy clearing, what I was going to talk about, but that's kind of coming through for me. And then the other thing we need to consider is the body and the subconscious mind. So we know everything is held in the body. So if we're only talking about things on a mindset level, we will never truly get to the root cause of what is going on in the body. And we're not considering the subconscious. So if we truly have something that we want to change, and no matter what we do, it is not changing, mindset coaching will never ever fix that, because we just end up going around in loops. And this is where I was at when I was being coached as well. Don't get me wrong, I love coaching, but I was getting stuck in these loops of like, yeah, no, I still can't do this. I'd come to the next coaching session, I'd be like, oh, this pattern's come back again. And it's because things weren't being looked at on that deep level. So we need to consider, so here's some things that we need to consider. We need to consider the body, the soma. So this comes into somatic work. This is why I do breath work every 6 weeks in the Energy Alignment Tribe membership, to get into and release that energy from our bodies. We need to consider the shadow. So we need to do shadow work coaching with our clients. If you don't already do this and you want to become accredited in this, the Quantum Alignment certification is open. Early bird spots are available and we start in February. I've just accredited the most wonderful client who is doing shadow work coaching with her clients. And so we need to consider the soma, the body, we need to consider the subconscious, and we need to consider the energy, because those three things are usually underlying what is truly going on for us. And this is why mindset coaching is not enough. And this came up last week on the Authentic Abundance Activator event. We were looking at the Authentic Abundance dials, and one of the things that I have found over the years with working with clients is that if we can look at we can think about it as one person in there said it was like a music mixer, okay? So when we're mixing music, we want to look at, the squirrels are back. When we're mixing music, we want to look at, okay, where does this style need to be? Where does this volume need to be? Where does this need to be? And each and every one of us will have our own mix of music. We'll have our own dials and where those dials need to be. And within those dials, there is a shadow expression and there is a gift expression. So one of the examples of the dials that we talked about last week is ego and empathy. So for a lot of us, and those of you that are in this space and are resonating with my work, we have had a background of being like ex-people pleasers, and we've really had that over empathy. So for some reason in our childhood, we have learnt that we needed to make sure everyone else is okay, to know that we are safe, okay? So we have developed that over empathy in some way. And because of that, that ego side has been pushed down, okay? Opposite in more narcissistic personality types, the ego is at the forefront, the empathy is not there, okay? So we've got this dial, we've got this polarity of ego and empathy. And we want to look at, where does this need to be? Where does this dial need to be in terms of how much empathy I use? And do I need a little bit of ego? Do I need to set some boundaries? Do I need to be a little selfish and do more self-care? Like, where does that dial need to be for me? And this is why mindset coaching on its own doesn't work, because on a mindset level, it would just be like, okay, great. What do you need to be less empathic? Or what do you need to overcome your people-pleasing tendencies? Right, set actions on that. But that is not enough, because we're not looking at that subconscious side, which is for some reason that ego has been pushed down. Okay? And then underneath that may be another layer. So we might say, right, well, I know I need to step more into that ego space and just have like, if a narcissist is like 10 out of 10 ego, we might want to have like a 1 out of 10, okay? A 1 out of 10 might mean that we set some boundaries. It might mean that we're a little more selfish, that we take some time for ourselves and our self-care. But what we might have that discussion in coaching, what we might establish is that that is not happening. So why is that not happening? And when we're coaching our clients, why is that not happening for them? Why are they not able to set those boundaries? Why are they not able to step out of people pleaser? And what we will find, so back to the volume mixer, what we will find is that there'll be another dial underneath that we need to look at. And this came up for some people last week in the event. It was like, okay, well, what's actually stopping this dial go to where it needs to be? There's something else underlying that, okay? And that is where, things that happened in, we don't necessarily have to know that it happened in our childhood or what the event was, but if we can simply shine a light and say, okay, what's underlying this? What is stopping me from being able to set boundaries, from fully stepping out of people pleasing now, to fully step into my truth and my power and my boundaries? When we know what that thing is, we can then look at that and we can look at the polarity of that. So let's say, for example, the reason we're not stepping fully into that boundaries is because we feel guilty, okay? That's the next layer, that's the next dial. Guilty, what's the opposite of guilty for you? Then that's what we need to look at, okay? And this is shadow work coaching, and this is what I train you to do in my quantum alignment program, which the lovely Amy has got her certification this week. We've got the other lovely ladies who have gone through the program over the last year who've got their certifications. This is what I am certifying you to do. I'm teaching you coaching skills. I'm training you in shadow work coaching, energy clearing, and we're also doing breath work throughout that process as well. And you get access, I gift you access to my membership in that program as well. So we need to consider, and I'm going to end this here before the squirrels totally get me, because this is like I'm trying to do a live from a zoo. We need to consider the subconscious and the shadows. We need to consider the body and the soma, and we need to consider the energy. an energy clearing, because it might not even be our energy, right? So let's do the energy clearing bit first. If it's not even our energy, we don't even need to talk about it. We don't need to go around in loops. We don't need to do the mindset coaching. We don't even need to do the shadow work coaching. We just need to do an energy clearing or an entity clearing. It really is that simple. And 98% of what we are feeling is not ours. So if we can clear the energy at the outset, everything just becomes simple. So, any questions, let me know. I'll pop the link below for the early bird spots for the Quantum Alignment Programme. We start next month. I am so excited, and someone has won a scholarship spot as well, which I've just announced over in the group. And I'm so excited for the shifts that are going to occur, the ripples that they're going to have in their communities. I know that they're going to really take these skills with their gifts and make a real difference. So have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'm sending you all lots of love.